shore leave for the crew.
Woo!
Your dad comes home. What the hell is this? It's Star Trek, Dad. It's Star Trek.
Well, Josh, we're here and we are on shore leave and it is beautiful, but hey, we're still here for you guys to talk about Star Trek.
Yeah, you know, we really deserve this, Alex. We really deserve a shore leave. But hey, wait, isn't public intoxication against one of their laws?
Oh, don't worry, we're not in the danger zone.
Oh, okay. Stay on the lookout, though. But what did you think of this episode, Justice? A shore leave episode, kind of.
Kind of. I'm kind of glad it wasn't a sequel to Shore Leave, because as soon as I said Shore Leave, you and I were like, you know, like...
We popped.
Yeah, we popped. But also in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh God, another, you know, direct sequel. As much as I love, you know, cheesy action battle fight, I do love just back and forth ideologies, following each other's rules, and trying to figure things out that way. You know, that part's always fascinating to me. But a little too horny, in my opinion.
I don't think it was horny enough. No, no, yeah, it was pretty wild there at the start. And the way that you're glad that it wasn't a direct shore leave sequel, I'm glad that it wasn't just like Gene Roddenberry being horny all over the episode. It kind of was, but it limited itself and it got into the plot.
Somewhere in the middle, yeah, of both of those. You know, it's like someone wanted to do a shore leave episode, Gene wanted to do a porno, and they're like, we're going to compromise on our rules here, like they did on the episode.
So far, Next Generation, it's probably just because Gene was a pervert, I don't know, but it hasn't been afraid to get real sexual. Nothing, I mean, at the end of the day, it was on TV. It's not going to get too crazy, but this is probably, you know, as crazy as an episode can get, this and, you know, Naked Now. It's kind of weird. Like, at first I was like, oh, I guess it's something different, but now it's like, I hope this isn't a recurring theme.
It's almost like he got his, like, weird thing out of the way. It's, okay, now let's go to the... You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he was like, yeah. They're like, all right, let's get to the episode.
You got his creepy director thing out of the way, and then he's like, okay, now let's go to the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's a weird one, guys, but we're going to jump into it in the reaction. We'll see you guys on the other side to talk in full about the episode, as well as talk about our patrons' thoughts and takes on the episode as well. So we'll see you on the other side.
After delivering a party of Earth colonists to the Stranad solar system, we have discovered another Class M planet in the adjoining Rubicon star system.
I already like this shot.
Yeah.
As well as unusually lovely.
That's like one of those UFC fight promo videos.
Sorry, Troy. The doctor has something very important to tell you, Captain.
You've been talking about it for days. Shore leave for the crew.
Woo!
We're not a supply vessel. Settling all those people has been a strain on everyone. Tired myself.
Wesley, what are you doing here?
They're wild in some ways, actually puritanical in others. Neat as pins, ultra lawful. They make love at the drop of a hat.
Wesley, if we go down, I'd like you to join the away team to evaluate this planet as a place for young people to relax.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy, Wesley beaming down.
And to get you the hell away from me.
Honestly, sick of you.
Let's just hope it's not too good to be true.
Now, based on what they described, I don't think this is the same place.
I can't remember the name of the planet that the actual, from the previous shore leave episodes.
Because they're talking as if there's a civilization on this planet. So
Yeah.
the other planet was just
And how did we leave shore leave from a TAS? Like,
the big robot was in control.
To seek out new life and new civilizations. To boldly go where no one has gone before.
I didn't notice they changed it in the intro as well. He doesn't say where no man has gone before. No
geez.
one. Woke garbage.
it's no man has gone before. Men!
I do think they're switching to no one is like a good change because
Yeah, absolutely.
it would be cringe if it was like no man or woman has gone before. Then it'd be like, all right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No one. It's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Mental.
Justice.
We are in orbit of a planet designated Rubicon 3, the home of a life form who call themselves the Edo.
I don't know why that's so funny. I just like did not expect that. Just
Nope.
just a bunch of half naked people running around.
And you sent the kid down?
They certainly are fit.
They certainly are.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Pleasant day to you.
You did return as promised.
Oh, no wonder he liked it here. And she's gonna be jealous the whole time?
Lovely one. Nice to see you again.
Wait a minute, do you think they just like all boned when they came down here before? They're like, yeah, it's great.
Oh my god.
Nice planet. Yeah.
Did Data come down earlier? Did he bone everyone?
No, I don't think he's been down yet.
Shall we go there now or remain and play?
Play?
I'd love. Unless you don't enjoy that. Perhaps you do.
And you. Yes, I can see that you do.
Damn. Bro sold her out.
When in Rome, eh? When where, sir?
I guess he wouldn't know what Rome is. I guess that's fair.
Well, I'm glad he isn't like everyone else that's just like fully versed on Earth type thing. So
Yeah.
unlike unlike Spock.
I will say I do appreciate this on-location shooting here.
Oh yeah,
And it hasn't all been terrible ADR.
that's true. I think it's just some college campus or something.
I think this is Gene's house. I'm trying to think, like what could even be the plot of this episode? Like, what's even, you know what I mean? Like, the conflict, could it be just like a siren type thing where they don't want to leave and, like, time passes by? Like,
Or there's gonna be some sick twist where like someone has to die or something. Or I hope there's some dark twist and it's not just all horny whatever.
another classic episode, we're watching this as a kid, your dad comes home. What the hell is this? It's Star Trek, Dad! It's Star Trek! Yeah. The dad's like, get the hell out of here. Then the dad sits down and watches it.
I see nothing, Commander.
Enterprise to object off our starboard bow. Request that you identify yourself.
What do you think? Romulan cloaking device? Be funny if it was a thing from last episode. Thought you could leave me, Picard?
It looks more like a space station than a ship.
Sir, I see something coming out of that ship.
Verified, sir. Something very small.
Reminds me of the thing from Day of the Dove, that little thing that would just go by. But I like here that so far, every time it's shown, characters see it. It's not just on screen for us.
Oh, thank God. So hopefully they won't laugh it off. That's how
Yeah, that's how they beat it.
That's how they resolved it, right?
Yeah.
No, don't go in him. Don't go in him.
Do not interfere with my children below.
Yeah, it's Gene.
Whatever it is out there, Data.
I can hear you. Uh-oh. Kick it. Get it away from him.
Oh, you know it'd be transparent. Just woof.
Oh, yeah. But I want to see him try.
Yeah, the one thing that always bugs me about,
You can't do this.
it's probably not just Star Trek, it's probably a lot of shows who make this argument, but in Star Trek, because they come across so much unknown stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. What the hell? In like Star Trek, because they come across so much unknown stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like so many times they're just like standing there, like waiting to see what happens. It's like, it can just kill you. It's like, I feel like they need to be sometimes more like defensive.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Like, I know they want to gather information, but it's like, I feel like they just put themselves on the line unnecessarily.
It's like, at least have your phaser ready to go or something.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Uh-oh.
Also, the actors probably have no idea what they're looking at.
Thought he was going to hit a back handspring there.
What?
It's something you can teach me, will you?
Well, actually, there are some games I don't quite know yet.
Well, actually.
Even Klingons need love now and then. For what we consider love, sir, I would need a Klingon woman. What about plain old basic sex?
Chad Riker.
Earth females. I must restrain myself too much. They are quite fragile, sir.
Oh, so he's basically saying humans are too fragile, will literally break them. Like, what is this, fucking a bison men?
Is there a problem?
We've lost contact with our ship.
Well, it's nothing these people have done. I'm certain of that. Their minds are so open.
Help me locate Wes. He's wandered off.
But it's like, are their minds really open, or are they just tricking you? I don't know, I could go either way. It's like, I could see these people being in on whatever's going on, or they're just also mindless and dumb and like, we're just created by this thing.
Yeah.
Anyone who commits any crime in the punishment zone dies.
The law is the law.
And just who tells visitors about these rules?
Better find Wesley.
Oh, well, there's the... Oh,
Better find that dumb shit, you know he's breaking some rule. It's like, would they would enforce it the same way for children? Like, I guess? I don't know. Oh boy.
I haven't seen any signs saying, hey, don't do this. But would it be in English? Probably, for us. But
Great location.
yeah. A little too green to be California.
I mean, I feel like a lot of this is probably fake.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's probably just a golf course. And they just put all this stuff here.
True.
Don't run into those solar panels.
Forbidden to disturb new plants.
Oh, shit. I just love that he had to say that as he was running. It's forbidden to disturb new plants.
I'm fine.
Oh no. Oh, please.
Oh, God. Start. Shoot on sight.
I'm really sorry.
You admit you did that. Freely.
I'm with Starfleet.
Oh, God. You dope.
What punishment? Name it.
Death, of course. Don't make it difficult for the boy.
Oh! I wonder if that's a crime.
Probably is.
Drop it now.
I wonder what that was.
Lethal injection.
It's a kind of syringe.
Oh, thank you, Tasha.
It was announced you came as friend. Is this how friends act?
All right, time to go.
Beam us up.
Enterprise from 08 team, come in. Are you receiving us, Enterprise?
Damn it. Terrible time for the communication trope.
It's like the rest of the ship should still be active, right?
This is an urgent call for Captain Picard.
We may need your presence here, Captain. We have serious trouble with member of our 08 and an unusual law they have here.
Yeah, I guess because of the red tape and because there was Starfleet, they can't just be like, beam us up, fly away, like, you know, someone would find out.
These people are honest, almost to a fault, and they have great pride in their ways.
All right, Picard on site. Let's go.
Unfortunately, we have a law known as the Prime Directive.
Riker has explained it to us.
Well, I'm glad you guys got it explained to you.
Just give us little pieces of it. Notice how we said, unfortunately, we have the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
But this is a city. A great city.
Captain, I've just seen the away team report about Wesley.
In a moment, Doctor.
He wanted to talk to her personally, damn it.
But he's like so Picard, he can't just say, I'll talk to you. He's like, in a moment. I think he can't be personable.
Captain!
Return my child.
Yeah, it did say don't mess with my children.
Picard, the transporter room. Come in.
He kind of did the one thing it said not to do.
Yes, do that, but hurry. It's still coming towards us.
Engage! Transporter room! Urgent, engage!
I like that they just answer as transporter chief. No point in naming him for this.
Just whoever's there, whoever's on duty right now. But I do like how he put his pin on.
Yeah, so I guess you need to be wearing one of those to transport. Wait, she didn't wear one on the way up.
But he said 3 to beam up, so
one of them had him.
So 3 in the vicinity.
The Edo want to execute my son. I will not allow that to happen, Jean-Luc.
Most interesting, sir. The emotion of motherhood is compared to all others felt by humans.
Shut up!
You were right, sir. I do tend to babble.
Well, how do they get out of this one?
You gotta know when to shut up, Data. I'm glad she's finally, like, doing something. Like, I'm like, you know, your son's about to be executed. Like, I felt like she needed to be more aggressive about it, so.
Yeah.
I'm concerned whether it understands the same concept of reason that we do.
But I like the whole following their rules, following our rules. We break our rules, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get everything Picard's doing from his side. Like, he's doing everything. He's trying to figure out a solution. But for Dr. Beverly, you know, she's like, she should be like, I'm beaming down there right now. I'm going to go get him.
Yeah, they need someone to have that emotional other side of this. Can't just all just be, you know.
How do I explain my refusing to obey their laws down there? And by so doing, do I endanger this vessel and more than 1,000 other lives?
Would you choose one life over 1,000, sir?
I refuse to let arithmetic decide questions like that. Why would such an advanced thing feel obliged to protect the Edo?
Perhaps the Edo are a child race by comparison. Those life forms have planted here, much as we now plant human colonies on Class M planets.
Whatever the cost, I will not allow them to execute your son.
Thank you, sir.
Data, take command.
Aye, sir.
All right, Data in command.
Yeah, there's a loophole. They'll let us go if I executed it myself.
Execute his son.
Yeah.
I said I wouldn't allow them to execute him.
Does this mean if you save me, the entire crew could die?
You're not involved in this decision, boy.
I'm sorry, sir, but it seems like I am.
Shut up, Wesley.
Our laws have been violated. What of justice?
What of justice to Wesley? Does he deserve to die?
I'm truly sorry.
Well, in their eyes, yes.
Yeah.
Transporter room. Energizing.
Oh, look when the sky of the Enterprise is blowing up.
My son had no warning that his act was criminal.
We cannot allow ignorance of the law to become a defense.
Even life itself is an exercise in exceptions.
When has justice ever been as simple as a rule book?
Seems the Edo Lord agrees with you, number one.
All the people down on the planet. What the hell?
But
Just turns into complete anarchy just over this one thing.
yeah, it's like a private little war. They just leave it worse.
I was hoping we might learn more about it. But since we can't, take us out of here, number one.
Gladly, sir.
Hey, are you a fan of the target audience and you're already subscribed and you're thinking, oh my lord, what else can I do? Well, guess what? You can like the video down below.
Well, we talked about how weird this episode was before the reaction, but this is actually my favorite episode so far.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
Jesus, wow, I can never read you, ever.
It was so weird at the beginning. You know, I was almost out. Like, I was almost like, this is going to be a weird one. But the whole, like, last act of the episode is, like, exactly what I'm looking for in Next Generation. My favorite scene of this episode is Captain Picard and Data when they're just talking. And they have the whole conversation about, you know, what to do and how to handle it. And just the back and forth about, like, the philosophies and, like, would you trade one life for 1,000 and just all of those themes. And I'm just like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Discussions about philosophy and morality and these types of things.
Yes, like, where, like, each point that either character says, I'm like, oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. And it's to the point where I'm like, I don't know how they're going to solve this because this is a messed up situation. And even to the point where, like, even, like, the horny characters are like, oh, we're just some backwoods planet and you're just going to beam out of here. And it's like, jeez, you know, it's like,
yeah.
It's like, God, man, this is deep.
And there was, like, so many different issues in here to tackle, you know, ethically, like the one I just brought up about trading lives. Then there's also the whole, like, basically the whole idea of, like, your citizen goes somewhere else visiting, breaks their law, and now they're in trouble with their law. What power do you have to save that citizen without interfering in their country's laws? Like, that's a real life issue.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
It was kind of goofier in some ways because of the premise. I think Picard says at one point, he's like,
perhaps your system of law and punishment is better than any system we once had. But we do now have a law I must obey.
And that was like a moment that I really liked because he wasn't judging them. You know, it's like, this obviously to us seems crazy. Like, you break any law, if you happen to be in this zone that no one knows about, you're instantly killed. That sounds insane, but it causes no crime to be committed in this society.
It's effective in that society, yeah.
Just interesting to think about. Like, what if there was that system in place, but it did, if the result was zero crime, can you really argue against it? Like, it's just interesting. Obviously, I don't think that system would ever work just because of corruption, but...
Yeah, and for the simplicity of the episode, I don't think they could, obviously, all of them can't all be into it. But for the sake of the episode, the contrast between our rules and their rules.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay.
Yeah, because if you actually start to think about it, it's like, okay, they have no trial, like any, what do they call their cops? They're like...
mediators?
Yeah, any of the mediators could, in theory, kill anybody at any time with no consequence. Like, there's obvious problems there. But for the sake of the episode, you just have to buy in.
For the 45 minutes we have, it's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was such a rapid turnaround from me just thinking this was going to be a silly, goofy, horny shore leave episode to where I didn't even know what the plot was going to be, to where it ended up turning everything with Wesley and, you know, it turning into what it was. I think that's what made it my favorite so far, is that especially at the end, in those last few scenes, it really showed me what great episodes of this show can be. This episode's not there yet. It didn't, like, blow me away entirely. But it's starting to show those glimpses of, like, yeah, this is going to be a really good show, I think.
Yeah, from the first half of this episode, I did not expect this one to be the one where all these political ideologies and rules would come into place. I'm like, okay. I thought, okay, maybe there's going to be some weird thing where they have to escape. I didn't expect it to be this wonderful, grand debate of following whose rules in whose country, whether how advanced they are and all that. Do you think we really needed the whole like God alien transparent thing? I got the whole like, oh, it's like he's there but he's not there, like how people say about, you know, God in the real world. It's like, oh, he's always there. It's like, and in this universe, he literally is there but not there.
Yeah, I felt that was the weakest part of the episode, but I felt the only reason it needed to be there was for the, you know,
Data
urgency, time constraint. Okay. Like, if that's not there, then they can just beam them away. Like, it was the, you know, kind of like the Naked Now with the asteroid coming to explode the ship. Like, there's always something to cause an urgency.
They mentioned earlier in the episode how, like, we dropped some people off on this uninhabited planet. And these aliens did the same thing with these people. So it's like, oh, we're kind of the same here.
I said in our last discussion that Gates McFadden as Dr. Beverly Crusher was one of my favorite characters, and we again get to see another layer of her character in this episode, where for the first time her son is in grave danger, and I was very scared with how they were playing it originally, that she wasn't really going to seem like she cared all that much.
Captain, I've just seen the away team report about Wesley.
In a moment, Doctor. From the starboard lounge, you can see whatever is outside this vessel.
I get it. You're in Starfleet. It's like kind of a military type thing. Like, you can't put personal relationships. But it's like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, if you have families on the Enterprise, like, this is all going out the window. And like, this is what I talked about at the beginning of the show when we first found that out. It's like, it's so incredibly dangerous. As soon as your kid gets into that type of danger, you don't care anymore about your part of Starfleet. Like, you're going to do whatever you can to save your kid. And I'm glad that that is what her character.
She did do that. Yeah, it's like, it's so nice and refreshing to see that, like, they're still, like, as far advanced and how smart. We've eliminated crime. There's still that human element to it. Like, it's a mother protecting her baby.
Having fulfilled my professional obligations regarding Commander Data.
You now request permission to beam down to the planet.
How about the resolution, though, to this?
It did cut off pretty bluntly.
Yeah, I'm listening to both sides, and then it's like, well, we're beaming up.
And then it just ended.
Yeah, it's like,
what about all the problems with the Prime Directive? They just like...
I didn't want them to do a trick. We killed Wesley, but didn't kill Wesley. You know what I mean? I didn't want that. Absolutely not. But I like wish there was more, like, I don't know, a more clear ending, like a Private Little War, where it is going to be like a downer. I mean, not Wesley dying, but something where like we leave this place worse than when we found it, or a really clear resolution. This kind of felt like it ended.
Yeah, because they bring up all of these problems with just beaming away with Wesley. Like, they address that they could do that, but they're like, we can't because of the Prime Directive, and because, like, these people are going to think that if he's an exception to the law, any of them can be an exception to the law. We can't have that. Picard does have the good line where he's like...
Even life itself is an exercise in exceptions.
So they, like, try to explain it a little bit. We're never going to see the consequences of him beaming Wesley away. Like, we're not going to come back in the next episode and he's dealing with Starfleet yelling at him or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was just kind of cheap to set up so many, like, obstacles. It's like, this is why we can't just beam him away. This is why. And then they just do it anyway.
And what are the repercussions for this species? Oh, they can just get away with that? Is that whole thing going to crumble with their ideology of, like, not having to be killed? It's like, maybe that's real life. It's never that. It's not clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a laughing on the bridge, but it's also not a clear, oh my God, this is terrible. It's just a...
It's like, things are messy. Things are complex. Things aren't always black and white. At the same time, though, I feel like that's giving this episode a little bit more credit than it deserves. I feel like they just ran out...
It's your favorite episode.
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like they just ran out of time, and we're just like, oh, well... We're taking them.
We usually had this 5 minutes, but we don't have that 5 minutes anymore. We gotta go.
Yeah. Well, like I said, yeah, it's my favorite episode, but, like, unfortunately, like, as of right now, like, that's still a pretty low bar. I mean, the episodes have all just been, like, on the same level almost. This was, like, the first one that stuck out to me that I really liked some parts of it, like, a lot. With that scene with Picard and Data being my favorite scene thus far of the show. But, like, yeah, the ending being a little bit abrupt, the whole weird shore leave stuff that feels like it's just shoved at the front of this episode. This isn't an amazing episode or a great episode. It's just, as of right now, my favorite. I'm hoping that changes throughout the rest of the season. If this one ends up being the best one of the season, you know, that's not a great sign.
But I do like how Patrick Stewart, Picard's like...
I was hoping we might learn more about it.
Because that's me. You know, it's out. Part of me is like... in terms of like filmmaking, storytelling, like we don't need that info. Then the other side's like, I want to know the lore, the lore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that was, again, like a classic, like, you know, Kirk would say that a lot at the end of episodes, like, oh, we should have learned more. Or Spock could be like, I wish I could have gathered that for information before we just fucking destroyed it, you know?
That's why they're the top guys.
Yeah.
I feel like Riker, you know, kind of falling to the wayside. Like, I have no comments or notes about him at all in these past. You notice that?
And this one, like, it was funny at the beginning just to see, like, him clearly just be horny and want to do shore leave on this planet because he wanted to get laid. And then, like, the little tinge of jealousy from Troy.
Yeah, they set that up, but then don't explore it.
Yeah. And then I also, you know, did like the scene where when Wesley gets in trouble and then Riker comes to defend him and knocks the guy over.
He just clotheslines the guy.
Yeah. But yeah, he has been silent. But, you know, that's okay. He just had an episode where he was the hero, you know, with the portal, you know.
Yeah, that's okay. You gotta
cycle it around.
It's because of Jonathan Frakes. That's why.
Yeah, you want to see more. Yeah.
And he's our Kirkish character, so it's like that little part of me wants that, you know, like want to see him do stuff.
What about plain old basic sex?
We're going to jump into our patron takes. This is where our patrons give us their takes on the episode, as well as their questions for us or thoughts about our reactions to it. If you want to be part of the patron takes, check that out over on our Patreon.
So this one's a Tyrannus fan. The first TNG episode to really lean into the Prime Directive, ... and Picard almost immediately violates it to save a main character. And then a response from Steven Johnson says, good, the Prime Directive as depicted in this era sucks. It's like, oh.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that is, yeah, it really does dive into the Prime Directive only to just violate it with no consequence. I can't disagree.
Yeah, good point.
That was one of our main problems. Okay, I like this. This is a funny one from Philip Grisha. Justice, the episode that teased Wesley's execution and didn't deliver. Very disappointing.
I love how everyone feels the same about him. That's great. This one's from James Botas. Episodes like this are the kind that make me realize how capable of objectivity I am with TNG. I enjoy this episode. I like getting into some more Prime Directive dilemmas here and seeing how flawed it is. I like that trying to get info out of data under stress can be challenging at this early point in this experience. Yeah, good point. Trying to, you know, figure out data and, you know, how he's like not a human but he wants to be, so he's like trying to get stuff out of him is a pain in the ass. And it ends with one of the best scenes by, you know, Crusher.
Data classic foot in his mouth, you know, not taking into account what Dr. Beverly's emotions would be at that moment, which is like a classic, you know, he's an android, he doesn't get it, you know. So I thought that made sense. I'm curious what James means when he says how incapable of objectivity I am with TNG because he enjoys the episode. I'm guessing he means because this is probably not looked at as a good episode, and him liking the episode makes him think he can't be objective, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I said, I liked the episode even though I had a lot of problems with it. Sometimes I feel like with these episodes and stuff we watch, that everything has to be so like, is this good or is this bad? You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like almost every episode so far of this show has been, there's stuff I've liked and stuff I haven't.
Everything throughout, it's like, some bad, sure, but there are good moments probably in every episode. Some little things. I mean, they might not be like masterpieces and they might not all be pieces of garbage, but it's like there's some stuff in there that to be enjoyed.
Yeah, and not to be hypocritical, I mean, I understand this is coming from the guy who ranks everything and you know, likes to say what episodes are the best ones and the worst ones and everything. But, you know, even in the worst episodes, there's usually stuff that we find that we like. But even that aside, again, still, with these episodes we've watched so far in this show, none of them have been dreadful, never want to return to, never watch again. Even the ones that a lot of the viewers have really reviled, like, there was stuff I really liked in there. And I know that there's over 170 episodes. There's going to be some in here that I absolutely don't like. But I'm just glad we haven't hit that point, you know, this early in our journey. But you never know. The next one could be that one.
Yeah, at this point, we haven't had a Dead of the Years.
Yeah.
We haven't had
an Assignment Earth.
An Assignment Earth, you know.
Well, it'd be kind of weird if we get an Assignment Earth, a completely unrelated episode.
I'm Gary 8.
This one is from Neil Shaunis. The episode where the Enterprise goes up against a small town HOA. That's great. A couple great ones from the patrons this time. Appreciate that. But yeah, I guess we'll just continue to enjoy our shore leave here on this planet. And
Ow, did you just stab me?
What was that?
You just poked me with... Oh, no.
What?
I just felt something too, Captain.
Yeah, enough.